What is up, guys? Welcome back. I'm really sorry for the lack of content as of late. We've been having a few problems with the EF. If you don't have me on social media, or you don't follow me on Instagram or anything like that, or the Hondas in South sort of social media accounts, this is what is wrong with the Civic. So we installed the 282s, which you guys probably saw. We then tested the car out in the following video, and I mentioned that something didn't feel quite right when I was sort of testing it, and it turns out that it was quite a big thing that wasn't quite right. So the subframe unfortunately has cracked, as you just saw, and what that means is that the the passenger side front wheels, so the near side front, is towing out massively. So that would explain the odd feeling that I got when I was test driving the car. We think that it was caused by the forces when slamming on the brakes. So when we were bedding those new brakes in, the pads and the discs and whatnot, we were doing a few stops from sort of 60, 70 mile an hour. And I think that probably caused the subframe to snap, where we have sort of notched it around the gearbox. So no fault of the subframe necessarily, obviously, because we've tampered with it previously to modify it to allow room for the gearbox. So what the plan is now is for us to get Chris at CT Fabrications, who built the cage, to build us a tubular front subframe to hopefully prevent that happening again. So we're just saving up for that at the moment, because if you know of tubular subframes, they're really expensive. So that is why we haven't had any videos on the Civic for a while. Dan's been busy building his coupe, which I can give you a few updates on hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And I've been busy fixing my Accord. So I know you guys have been, or some of you guys have been asking for a video on the Accord itself. So what I'm going to do now is drive somewhere that's a bit nicer than where I live, and just tell you a bit more about it. So I filmed an intro sequence back when we were at Goodwood Supercar Sunday, and that was like, oh, actually it might have even been the hot hatch day, and that was like the end of last year, and it's now July. So I'll use that at the end of the video, but we'll cut to a few shots of the car, and then I'll tell you a bit more about it. So yeah, see you in a moment. So here it is, guys. This is my 2003 Honda Accord Tourer Type S. So I brought this roughly a year and a half ago, something like that. I bought it in November of 2015, I think. And since then I've done a few modifications, nothing too extreme, as it is my daily. Obviously, you know, we've got the EF, which I was just speaking about, me and Dan, and this is the car that I drive day to day. So I'll give you a quick tour. I mean, I don't want it to be too long, but I know a few of you guys had seen it in the back of videos and you were interested in what I'd done to it and so on. So it's the 2.4 model, so it's got a K24 A3, which is a 6-speed manual for all you guys in the US. I don't think you got these over there, so I think a few of you would probably be interested to know a few things about it as well. So here it is. Obviously what you'll notice straight off the back is that it's got wheels and coilovers, and that's probably about the sort of extent of the modifications that it's got, really. So I'll start at the front and then I'll move backwards. So it's a pre-facelift model, but what I've done is put the facelift headlights on here. So the difference between the facelift and the pre-facelift is that the pre-facelift actually has an amber indicator lens there, whereas the pre-facelift is completely clear, and it's also got this blue section for the side light as well. So just sort of smartens the front end up a bit, I think. The other thing at the front here is a Euro R grille surround. So the grille is exactly the same one as I bought the car with, but this surround used to be sort of chrome like the badge, so I think it just smartens it up to be the same colour as the body. That's the front end. Obviously the Type S came with the lip kit as standard, so I do intend on changing that for the A-spec lip. which I'll pop a picture in one of these corners here of what that looks like, and I'll get the whole front end resprayed at the same time. So moving back, the next thing you'll see is the Enkei NTO3 Plus M's. So these are 18 by 9.5 ET40. So to give you an idea of how those sit, here's the sort of side profile. Excuse all the dust, I've just sort of driven out to a bit of a remote location to do a video for you guys. So that's those. I'm running 225 40s for the tyres, just some real sort of cheap budgets on the front and some Avons on the rear, so nothing too fancy. Again, it's a daily. I'm also running N-Tech drilled and grooved discs, as well as Mintex pads, so just a sort of a cheap combo on the braking. So that's that. We're also on BC coilovers, supplied by 621. Obviously the Enkeis were supplied by Adam as well, so big shout out to him, thank you dude. Moving back, windows are tinted, so I've got 20% on the rear 5 windows, as you can see there. So just brings it a bit up to date, I think. Obviously it's a 2003 car, so it's a fair few years old, but I think the tints just bring it up to date. I also, the most recent addition to the car is actually these roof rails. So these didn't come on the car, but for any of you who know me will know that I'm into my cycling, so that's handy, as I can now get the bikes on the roof. So bit of a useful modification rather than one for looks, but I don't think it looks too bad. Moving back again, I've also got, as well as the facelift headlights, I've also got a facelift spoiler on here as well. So when I bought this it was grey and I got it colour coded to match the car. I think these are only off of the 2005 or 2006 model. So again, the pre-facelift spoiler stopped here and sort of cut off, stuck out slightly, but not as much as this one. And I think, again, it just makes it look a bit sportier, and makes the rear end look a bit more aggressive. Again, on the back, the tyre specs and wheel specs are exactly the same. So 225 40 18s with a 18 by 9.5 ET 35 on the back, and that's just because I'm running a 5mm spacer. So that'll give you an idea of that. And then moving around to the back, I've taken all of the badges off. So well, obviously minus the Honda badge, so that still remains, but everything else is all sort of smoothed off. Again, rear windows are all tinted, and also obviously I've got my private plate on there and a new Honda's in South sticker on the back there in matte black, so it's pretty discreet. If you want any more information on those, I'll drop a bit of information in the description as to where you can buy them. Exhaust wise, it's a standard system. Again, nothing too fancy, it's a daily, so I don't want it too loud. It's a standard system, just with some S2000 style finishes on the end, so just S2000 tips. So I don't know if you can see under there, but they only go as far back as that, and it just sort of, again, smartens up the rear end. And that is about it, to be honest with you. So I absolutely love it. Obviously I didn't think at the age of 24 that I'd own an estate car, because they're usually associated with sort of old people, but I love it. My girlfriend Steph absolutely hates it, but what can you do? It does the job, and I wouldn't replace it for anything. So there it is. I'll give you a quick look inside. So this is the interior, much the same as any other Accord from the same years. The only things I've done in here is change the gear knob for a weighted one, and also pop my Broadway mirror on. So this is all as it came. Fake carbon fibre trim in here. The radio's a bit gash, but I've got a little sort of converter on here so I can listen to my tunes. And yeah, that's about it really. Slidey armrest as standard, so you can slide that forward when you're on the motorway, which just makes it a bit nicer. And what I'll also show you is one of my favourite features of this car, and they don't often work actually when you find these, but it also does this. So it's got an auto tailgate. You can shut it with the button up here or on the key, entirely up to you. And then yeah, one of my favourite things about the car is the size of the boot. So you can really just sort of chuck whatever you want in here. It's got a little cubby hole under here as well. So tools, jack, jump leads, Euro kit, all that kind of thing. Keep all that in here at all times. Lots of oil, because anyone will know. Any K-series owner will know that these things eat oil. Well, mine does anyway. But yeah, that's it really, guys. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of the car and what's done to it. There's not much different under the engine bay, to be honest with you. I've deleted the airbox resonator, so it sounds a bit meatier when you put your foot down, but that's about it. So there you go. For anyone wanting to know sort of specifics about mileage and that kind of thing, if that's interesting, like I said, it's a 2.4, so it's not exactly the most economical car you can buy. I tend to get about 300 miles out of a tank, and that's just sort of around town, city driving, a little bit of sort of dual carriageway, motorways, that kind of thing. So I'm going to sit here actually while I chat to you. Until about a month ago, it hadn't owed me any money whatsoever, but a few bits and pieces have started going wrong. One of the main things with these that you should check for is obviously rust, being a Honda, and the other thing is seized rear toe bolt. So when you lower these, the setup on the rear suspension means that your rear toe, you get massive rear toe in basically. So to adjust that, you've got like an eccentric bolt with a washer underneath, and that had completely seized inside the bush. So I had to get the rear arms taken off, the bolts cut out, and then new bushes and new bolts put back in. So that was rather expensive in itself. Obviously then you got alignment on top of that. I went through 2 pairs of rear tyres in about, I don't know, 7,000 to 10,000 miles or something stupid like that. So it's definitely worth getting that sorted if you're thinking of buying one of these and doing the bits and pieces that I've done to this to it. And yeah, that's about all I can think of really. I mean, general things, it's just got to about 110, 112,000 miles now, and I've had to replace the radiator. I'm back against the AC to get that working at the moment as well. So I've replaced the condenser, the compressor, all of the other sort of components, had it regassed, that kind of thing. So I'm just waiting to get it regassed again now that I've changed the compressor. And fingers crossed that that works, because I'm driving down to Devon, which is like a 5-6 hour drive on Saturday. So let's hope that it works. But all in all, it's an absolutely brilliant car. I wouldn't have anything else now as a daily driver. Just purely for the fact that I can chuck everything in the back of it. I can now chuck my bikes on the roof. 4 or 5 people can fit in it at any one time, and it, like I say, it's practical. It's not fast, it's not slow, it's somewhere in the middle. It's absolutely perfect for cruising. I mean, I've driven across to Amsterdam in it twice now, and it was absolutely faultless. So I absolutely love it. I know you guys wanted a bit of background on the car and why I've got it, and the reason behind it really was the fact that I'd always wanted the Accord shape, so the sort of 2003 to 2008 shape. I'd never considered a Tourer until I saw it come up for sale. It was in Arctic blue, which is stunning when you clean it, quite frankly. So I went down and looked at it, fell in love with it there and then. Not many people had Tourers at that point. I was only aware of one other that was modified in the country at the point that I bought it, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different. You don't see them every day. People always do ask me sort of what the story is behind it, what it is for one, because a lot of people think it's like a Civic estate or something like that. But I think it still looks current to this day, to be quite honest with you. So I'll leave you with some sort of beauty shots of the car, if you don't want to call it that, or some like panning shots and that kind of thing. And yeah, thanks for watching. Again, apologies for the delay between videos. We've all been up to our sort of different things, and like I say, we're struggling a bit with the EF at the moment in terms of funding the new subframe, but all in good time. It will all work out, and hopefully we'll be back with another video fairly soon. So yeah, drop us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video and you like the Accord. Subscribe if you don't already, and we'll see you next time. Thanks guys, see you later.